Beneath every behavior, there's a feeling. And beneath every feeling, there's a need. You gotta meet the need. And that is to accept yourself and to love yourself, flaws and all. Hello everyone, my name is Miss Hart and I am a recovered hoarder. I used to be a level 4 hoarder, now I'm only a level 1. And many of you know the root of the story of how I started saving and hoarding. Because when I was in middle school, I was horribly bullied. It started about when I was 10 years old. I noticed a shift with all the children that they didn't want to play with me anymore. It got worse in 6th grade when I had switched schools. I was the new girl in an awkward phase, and I was just verbally just abused by them, put down. There was some shoving and pushing and destroying of my belongings. And to deal with that pain, I went home and escaped to my room where all the things made me feel safe. This was the core programming that people hurt me, stuff keeps me safe. It was also the root of my people pleasing because I thought if I could just make everybody happy, then they'll like me and they'll want to be with me. It didn't matter how nice I was to them, it just got worse. And I never stuck up for myself or fought back because I didn't want to hurt them like they were hurting me. Because inside, my heart was being torn apart. I could feel that I had no self-esteem, no self-love, no confidence. And after a while, I just dealt with it. I just accepted it. And I thought, maybe I am all the awful things that they're calling me. But I knew inside that I wasn't, that I was a good person and I was happy and I was cheerful. But my 11-year-old mind back then couldn't process that. Instead, it processed it as hoarding. I didn't tell anyone. And all my things surrounded me. It was a way I escaped. It was a way to comfort me and to give me a sense of control and peace and loving, because all of this stuff was an outward reflection of who I was. What I wish I knew back then, 30 years ago, was how to give myself that self-love and acceptance despite what they were saying. But that's okay. It was my life lesson to learn. And now I can look back at these different events in my life, the bullying, the extreme abuse I received from an ex-boyfriend when I was 17 and 18. That was an extremely dark time where I was mentally, physically, spiritually. I mean, this man did every horrific thing you can imagine to a teenage girl. And the trauma back then was so deep. And to cope with it, I would run home and escape and surround myself with all the beautiful belongings. And it just consistently recoded that people hurt me, stuff keeps me safe. Those early experiences was the root and programming of my hoarding disorder. Now, many people have experienced trauma in their lifetime, whether it was childhood, adolescence, adulthood. Everybody has experienced trauma. But that doesn't mean that you're broken. That doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It's just something that happened to you. And everyone develops their own coping mechanism to deal with that pain inside. My vice was hoarding. Other people, they struggle with eating disorders, emotional eating, substance abuse, whether it's alcohol or drugs. There could be impulsive shopping or avoidance or self-sabotage. Self-sabotage in looking for other toxic relationships, repeat the past to validate whatever you're feeling inside. Everybody has a different vice in life. And that's okay, because sometimes the vice is put in place so that you can truly grow and expand and become stronger from that experience. Remember, beneath every behavior is a feeling, and beneath every feeling is that need. Need is acceptance. That need is validation. That need is to lovingly accept everything about yourself, and that you embrace every flaw that you have, because you are a human being. We were not created to be perfect. So I don't know why we put this expectation on ourselves. Love your flaws. It's okay. Some people spend a lifetime chasing this need outside of ourselves. I spent half my life chasing this need through hoarding and saving and collecting. But you know what? As much as I wish I knew how to give myself self-love as an 11, 12, 13, 17, 18-year-old child, it's okay. It's okay. Because now I can use that trauma to help serve other people, to give them the knowledge and tools that they need, whether they're younger, middle-aged, or older. Those experiences I had were meant so that I can serve this world on a higher level, because we are all meant to grow and learn, evolve, and expand. I hoarded a majority of my life. I literally saved everything that came into my home or into my possession to self-soothe my nervous system, whether it was fear, anxiety, PTSD, money problems, unstable economies, uncertainty in the world, whatever seemed scary outside in the world. My nervous system said, I know what to do. I'm going to save and I'm going to hoard. And that's going to make everything be okay again. And for a while, it did self-soothe my nervous system. It did calm me down temporarily. It didn't last. It was fleeting. It was just a continuous cycle of me chasing something outside of myself to make me feel good within myself. It was a continuous cycle until I finally realized that the clutter is never going to fill the void within myself. And perhaps you're at this point of your life where you're consistently chasing either this stuff, the money, the success, the accolades, the acceptance, life partner that's going to change my life so I can finally feel good. It temporarily feels good, but it's not sustainable. It's not going to stay. You already know the outcome, that you're just going to keep chasing it and chasing it and chasing it until you reach the point that you just had enough. Enough. I'm tired. I'm not chasing it anymore. How do you break the cycle when you finally decided that this was enough? You start within yourself and you start to find that love and acceptance right here in your heart. That's when you start to turn it around. I had to tell myself that I don't need more things. I am enough without them. And how did I start my healing journey to finally turn this all around? Well, I started a YouTube channel so that I could express myself. I gave myself gentle decluttering, meaning that I only let go of what I felt emotionally capable of letting go of, and I only did a small section at a time with baby step decluttering. That was a form of self-love for myself, honoring the space that I was in my journey and not forcing myself to throw away something that I wasn't ready to let go of, or force myself to clear out an entire area when I knew I was not emotionally stable to do so. I also did a lot of journaling because I love journaling, and I wrote a lot of self-affirmations. Now, a lot of these actions were helping me to start to heal, but it just didn't feel like enough at the time. because I was still feeling the pain and the trauma within myself. It wasn't until I really started looking at what I call the pain body. And the pain body was that hurt 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old girl within myself, that 17 and 18-year-old girl that was still struggling with inside of myself. Even though that was the past and it's not existing, the energy of that pain was still living within myself. And in my quiet time, I had to tell that little girl, I had to tell that teenager that it's okay. We made it through. We made it stronger. It's okay to love ourselves. It's okay to accept ourselves. It's okay because I see myself, and that's what matters. And instead of suppressing those emotions like I did for all those years, when it would come up and arise, I would just say, we are loved. We are kind. We are sweet. We are seen. We are joyful. We are peaceful. We are safe. We are safe. And every time I did that, the pain would be less. And I got to the point where I could look at the past trauma and say, you know what? I'm actually grateful and feel blessed that that had happened to me. And what that does is it transmutes the energy of that pain into love. I would just envision that horrible experience and just picture God just turning it into light and spinning it and just spinning it until it was like, you know what? If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be in front of this camera talking to all of you, talking about that experience. And in my hope and heart that it's teaching you how to take your past trauma and make it into your strength, and how to release it, and how to let it go, and how to release the vice that holds you back in life. I can finally look at it and be like, I'm glad. I'm glad it happened. I'm not a victim anymore. And I can now use this experience to hopefully help and heal other people in this world too, because that's what my heart is called to do. And that's what everybody's heart is called to do. At our root, we all want to serve. We all want to help each other. We all want to grow. We all want to love ourselves and feel that acceptance, to know that we live in a beautiful, abundant, benevolent world. This space is filling up our hearts with self-love, self-compassion, self-acceptance, so that we don't feel the void anymore, ever. Because we stopped chasing it outside of ourselves and we started creating it within our soul. I know my experience has helped because we've grown this beautiful YouTube channel together where everyone on here is really lovely and encouraging and lifts each other up. And hey, if you're new to my channel, maybe this is a time to like and subscribe, because that is my goal. That is my goal, is to root each other's rises, to learn, to grow from each other, because that's what I want this channel to be. A space where everyone can learn to love themselves, to accept themselves, to give themselves validation and know that they are worthy. And I would love to know in the comment section below, what do you love about yourself? What natural talents do you have? I would love to read it so that we can continuously lift each other up, because I truly want you to see how amazing you are. You can start your healing journey today, right now, in the very present moment, because it starts with you. And you have that control that, yes, I can now turn this around, even if it's one little baby step. Because my favorite quote is that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. And I encourage you to take that step because I know that you can do it. I promise you, you can release that because there's so much freedom on the other side when you finally let it go. Freedom is not worrying what everybody outside of you is thinking or doing. Freedom is loving and accepting every attribute about yourself. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to clean, declutter, and love yourself today.